Hello and welcome to Password Management 101. Today we're going to take a look at password management and password managers and talk about why it's important. So, what is password management? My definition of password management is that it's the art of storing passwords in such a way that they are both secure and accessible. So secure meaning that only you have access to them, and accessible meaning that you have access to them when and where you need access to them. And so why is password management important? Well, every account that you have should use a unique password. That's a good cybersecurity practice. Now, the average person has over 100 different online accounts, and trying to remember that many unique passwords is really hard. And because it's hard, most people will either store passwords insecurely or they'll reuse a single password or maybe a small handful of passwords across many different websites. And the question here is, well, is reusing the same password really that bad? And the answer is yes, because reusing the same password across multiple websites makes it so that if one website gets hacked and your password gets stolen, all other accounts that now share the same password are also at risk of being compromised. And that is not something that you want. So a lot of people will use sticky notes or notebooks to write their passwords down in, or a text document on their computer, or they'll use a spreadsheet on their computer. And this is not ideal because anyone who has access to that notepad, that notebook, or your computer now has access to all of your passwords. Additionally, if you're storing them digitally on your computer, like in a text document or in a spreadsheet, and you get a virus that steals your documents, well, the hacker now has all of your passwords and they can go and wreak havoc with your online accounts. So the better way to store passwords is using something called a password manager. So what exactly is a password manager? A password manager is a mobile app that you can install on your phone or your tablet, or it's a web browser extension that will store your passwords in a secure and accessible way. So secure in this case means that they will be encrypted so that nobody can access them without entering the password for your password manager. And they're accessible, meaning they're available in your app on your phone, in the web browser extension on your computer, and they're available when you need them. So what exactly does a password manager do? Well, a password manager will generate secure, unique passwords for you whenever you create a new online account or whenever you change a password. It makes it really easy to generate a nice, long, secure password. And so that way you're not trying to come up with something that you can remember. And then it'll, of course, save your passwords in a secure, encrypted format. And then a password manager will also automatically fill them into web pages and even apps on your phone for you. And so it saves you some time there as well. Benefits of using a password manager include that, as I mentioned, it'll save you some time, because now you're not spending time and brain power creating passwords. You're not spending time typing them in because it'll enter them for you. You're not spending time rummaging through your notebook trying to find the right password. So it really does have a lot of time efficiency benefits that come with it. A reduced cognitive load. You only have to remember one password now, just the password for your password manager. And then, of course, your online accounts are going to be more secure, which is the huge benefit that we're really going after here. So next question then is, which one should I use? And there are a lot of different reputable password managers out there. Some of the ones that I would recommend are 1Password, Bitwarden, Dashlane, KeePass, and NordPass. These are all password managers made by reputable companies, and any of these would be a good choice. The one that I use on a daily basis and recommend is 1Password. I've got a link here where you can sign up for a 14-day free trial to try it out and see if you like it. Notice I did say free trial. This one is not free, but it's very inexpensive. It starts out at just a couple dollars a month, $2-3 a month, and it's totally worth it to keep your password safe. It's one of the least expensive subscriptions that you'll have. Now, one of the questions that I get a lot when I'm talking about using password managers is, well, isn't using a password manager like putting all my eggs in one basket? And my response to that would be, well, yes, but it's an encrypted basket. And I say that jokingly, but the reality is that the risk of not using a password manager is greater than the risk of using a password manager. And the reason for that is because if you're not using a password manager, chances are you're either reusing passwords across websites or you're storing your passwords insecurely, which presents a greater risk. Another question that you might have is, well, can't I just save my passwords using my web browser? You probably noticed that Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or any other modern web browser will offer to save your passwords for you. And my response to that would be, well, I don't recommend it. And the reason for that is because the password managers that are built into web browsers are big targets for what's called info-stealer malware. There is malware that will just steal potentially sensitive information from your computer and send it off to a hacker so they can do whatever they want with it. And these password databases that are built into web browsers are big targets, and they're not as secure as a standalone third-party password manager. So if you're ready to get started with a password manager, you can use any of those reputable ones that I mentioned. Again, 1Password is one that I recommend. You can scan this QR code or go to justinwilson.me/1password to get that 14-day free trial to try it out. The setup process is pretty straightforward and it walks you through it very nicely. If it's something that you struggle with though, or that you're feeling a little bit hesitant about, keep an eye out for my next video where I will walk you through the process of how to actually create an account with 1Password and get that all set up.